Today I fucked up by telling my 7-year he had to walk to McDonald's with his 4-year sister to get his mum and I breakfast. Let me preface this by saying this was an innocent joke and I would never make my kids walk to McDonald's to get me breakfast. I'd let them take the car. Actual preface: this was a joke. We are a joking family. Backstory: our kids woke up super early, so we made them breakfast, turned on the TV and went back to bed for a quick sleep in. Present story: once they were bored with the TV they came into our bed for cuddles and basic shit talking, as kids do. Can they shit talk? After a few minutes I asked if everyone wanted McDonald's and everyone agreed. I told my 7-year son that he would have to walk to the store. It's roughly 500 meters away, but you have to cross a busy road to get there, with his 4-year sister to get breakfast for everyone. While he was suspicious of this joke request, he kept asking, "Dad, do I really have to do that?" And I would reply, "Yes, mate. We're both tired. Could you go get us breakfast please?" This went on for a few minutes and then I laughed and said, "Don't worry mate, I'll get it." Then went and had a shower. While I was in the shower he had a complete anxiety attack about having to walk to McDonald's, and my wife said he was hysterical for at least 5 minutes. Like a full-blown, inconsolable panic attack. He actually thought I wanted him and his sister to walk to McDonald's to get breakfast. He's such a sweet kid. Too long didn't read. Told my 7-year kid he had to walk to McDonald's to get breakfast for the family. Was joking, but he has a complete anxiety attack about it and I feel like shit. Edit: for those suggesting my actions were extremely terrible. When I say we are a joking family, I mean that this kind of play happens all the time. Even my 7-year will pretend the TV is broken only to prank me. This was an unprecedented turn of events and he would have usually called me out on my BS. This is why it's a today I fucked up and not an everyday I fuck up. Edit 2. Thank you for the hate mail and suggestions. Holy shit, some of you are redacted. Only some. Most of you are level-headed, responsible people. Edit 3. Holy shit. Did not expect this to even make a ripple in the water. Which it hasn't, but in Reddit standards, whoa. Edit 4. I'm no longer answering replies or DMs as it appears the I'm worst parent on the planet and need to be schooled by random internet users. Sorry for not responding. You can blame the experts. Edit 5. Thank you for the people hitting up my inbox telling me not to worry about hate mail. You guys rock. Phew. When I got to the part where you jumped in the shower, I expected the next thing to happen was your kids leaving the house on their own. I would have had a panic attack if that happened. Lol. Lamau. I have a panic attack when my 4-year hides and I can't find her. Legitimate panic attacks. My wife has to calm me down. Kid of an immigrant here. Wow, we are different breeds. My parents told me this since I was 4 and weren't joking. Eventually learned English and had to translate for them. All this while in the safety of Detroit. Yeah. I laugh because I rode my bike 4 blocks to the little convenience store on the edge of our suburban neighborhood when I was 8, with money from my parents. My son is 10 and my parents can't comprehend me teaching him to make sandwiches, do laundry or riding his bike half a block to his friend's house with a GPS tracker watch that he can call me from and I can watch his movements. They clearly don't recall how they parented me. I rode in the back of the station wagon, loose, my entire childhood. My son is 10 and still in a car seat. He will be for several more years at his current weight gain. My dad did something similar to me. I think I was 5. He owned a store and was changing the window display. I was getting in the way, so he jokingly put a price tag on me and sat me in the window. It was all fun until a lady came in and joked that she would buy me. That's when I went running to mum in tears because dad was going to sell me. It's been a family joke ever since. The poor lady must have felt awful. As bad as it sounds, that's such a cool memory to have. I once wanted a 7-year-old to stay busy, but worded it as I don't want to see you for 1 hour. Needless to say, they literally hid from me. He did stay busy hiding. I packed my bag for kindergarten when I was 4, late birthday, and insisted I was ready to go to school, after dark, in the winter, in Chicago. I do not remember this, but from what I can grasp, my dad said something similar to you. Like okay, see you later. Flash forward and my dad, a former 3-sport athlete, one professionally and a military veteran, having figured out silence was not golden, was running like a madman down the streets of Chicago to catch me, only to find me pounding on the door to the school yelling for my teacher to let me in. Because all kids know that teachers live in the school. I totally thought you were going to be surprised with a McMuffin in the face. Joking is fun, little buddy will be okay. Mao. While I know he'll be okay and is okay now, I have a similar story except I was an adult. I was driving to work and I used to listen to a talkback radio station. That morning there was a completely different talkback program on, but I thought nothing of it. I arrived at work, sat in my car waiting for the boss to arrive only to realize it was Saturday. Wasted my sleep in. Today I fucked up by not checking Amazon reviews. Obligatory, the FU happened months ago, but I found out today. April 2020. 1 month into lockdown, it seemed like we were going to work from home at least until the summer, lol. I decided to invest in a good office chair with lumbar support. Chair arrives, I build it with Wi-Fi, and much to my dismay, the seat is angled forward so it feels like you're sitting on the cliff Mufasa fell from. It was impossible to stay seated on the chair without sliding forward and curving your spine in a weird way. I figure it's shoddy manufacturing and incorporate a footstool to my setup so I don't fall from the chair. It's uncomfortable, but I make do with my creation and keep my pride intact. Fast forward to 9 months later, and wifey decides to get a chair of her own. She shows me the chair she picked out and claims that it is much better than my Mufasa chair. Dejected, I pull up my past orders to see the reviews on my chair to see what went so wrong. Multiple comments on its fantastic lumbar support. It seems no one else is sliding off of this chair. I'm confused. A light bulb flickers in my brain and I hold up a photo of the chair in the Amazon listing next to the real thing. Turns out the bottom base of the chair frame is reversed in the photo, which meant that I built the chair backwards in April and have been sitting in a reversed chair for 9 months. Laughing uncontrollably, we reassemble the chair and take turns sitting. We now have 2 comfortable chairs. Too long didn't read. Bought chair in April, seat angle sucks. 9 months later, wife makes fun of my chair, discover I have been working from a misassembled chair since the beginning of the pandemic. Edit, here's the chair, with an eloquently written review. Edit 2, several requests for the link to the chair here. Edit 3, unfortunately, no pictures of the chair before we reassembled. If you see the leg portion of the chair like a sideways U, the concave was facing backwards instead of forwards, tilting the seat forward and flexing in the front. Edit 4, seems like my final FU in this whirlwind journey was not arranging a kickback with the chair manufacturer before posting. For the ride till I die wheelists, I got a sled chair because we were living in a tiny NYC apartment with cheap floors. My chair preferences also changed after 5 years in the military and turning 31. Thanks for the votes and the awards. I need to know what kind of chair this was. This is amazing and 100% something I could see myself doing out of pure pride and stupidity. Smiley face. He did cite Mufasa, so you know pride goeth before the fall. Don't feel bad about this. I work in an office and we got new chairs and the guys who put them together did the same thing with about half of them and I had to argue with them that they were together wrong. Instructions? We don't need no stinking instructions. Proceeds to assemble it backwards. Hey, don't feel bad. I sell and assemble office furniture for a living, and over the 10 years I've been doing it, I can't count how many times a chair has been returned for being super uncomfortable only to find out they assembled the chair with the seat pan reversed. There's a limited amount of chairs that can be assembled like that, but for the ones you can, if you're not paying attention, it's seemingly easy enough to do. Enjoy your newfound lumbar support. Today I fucked up by having an orgasm during a haircut. As is normal it seems, This actually happened about a year ago now. I'm a 30-ish-year-old male. My wife was 9 months pregnant at the time, so I hadn't gotten any action in a while. Her choice, not mine. My wife is the only person I have ever slept with. We started dating in high school. So on with the story. I have always got my hair cut at Cost Cutters or Sports Clips, the cheap places, because I didn't really care. My wife had been going to a salon local to us for the last few years for massages, haircuts, hair color, the works. I had a bad experience at Sports Clips the last time. I just didn't like the results. So she made me an appointment at her salon for me. I showed up and was in their waiting room. The stylist comes to get me, and wow, she is very attractive, obnoxiously attractive. After I sit in the chair, I honestly stopped thinking about it. We were having a good conversation, about my wife actually. Yes, I'm a terrible human being. Finish the haircut and go in the back room where they wash everyone's hair. As she started to wash my hair, I don't know what happened, but it felt really good the way she was massaging my head while applying the shampoo. Cue the boner. Thankfully the way I was situated and the robe they had on me hid it pretty well. I think I had a warm towel over my eyes. She finishes that and then she asks if I want a hand massage. I decline because I'm a guy and it's just kinda awkward, especially given her attractiveness. Her reaction was kinda odd. She seemed shocked I didn't want one. She asked again if I was sure, and I felt I might offend her if I said no again, so I agreed. The hand massage just felt amazing. I don't know what it was, but it was incredible. All of a sudden I start getting little twitches in my penis, for lack of a less obnoxious word for it. I couldn't stop them, they just kept building. Then she goes to switch hands, grabs the lotion and puts the bottle down on my stomach, which slides down and ever so slightly touches my penis. That was the final straw, and it happened. Next thing I know, I'm in a full orgasm and I can't stop it. I end up crossing my legs to further hide the fact that my penis and groin area are having seizures basically. I'm so embarrassed. I had no idea what to do. My semen is soaking into my boxers and it's a terribly gross feeling. I don't think she knew what was going on, thank God. She finished the hand massage and I have the most awkward walk of my life back to her chair. Basically shut down at that point and tried to rush the rest of the appointment. I'm sure I was bright red at this point from embarrassment. We finish the appointment and I go to the cashier to check out. In an epic moment of good judgment, I decide to give her an obnoxious tip on top of it. I think it was $50 on a $50 bill. Yes, I am an idiot, and if she did know, I just made it a million times more awkward. I went home, avoided my wife and went straight into the shower, hid my clothes and put them in the washer right after my shower. I have never been back and have made do with my subpar haircuts from my local Sports Clips since. My wife doesn't know. Telling her this story a week from her due date could have gone literally any direction, and telling her now would just be even more awkward. So there's my story, judge all you want. I am aware I am an idiot and did multiple things to make it worse. I feel like I sexually harassed her or something. I hate myself, but not enough to dwell on it. Lol. Q&A. Some people took things too literal or didn't get my attempts at humor. Shortened because I realized I'd gaffe about some of the sensitive sallies in this post. Yes, I used the word obnoxious 3 times, and again in my too long didn't read. Now I have used it 5. Sometimes a word gets stuck in my head and I use it too much. May hell rain down on me for my sins. I did not mean obnoxiously attractive as a bad thing, and yes, I intentionally used the word wrong. I just found it to be a funny way to describe my reaction. She was so attractive it was almost offensive. Maybe would have been better choices. It was a joke. Parting words, as I probably won't be back to this thread. To the people trying to blame my wife for not bending over backwards to make sure I am sexually satisfied, in the best way possible, please piss off. My wife was pregnant and going through a lot. Thinking that she should drop everything to rub one out for me is pretty fucked up. If I was to the point where I needed something, I would just rub one out myself like a normal person. I didn't feel sexually deprived. I had much more important things on my mind. Life doesn't revolve around sex for me. Perhaps I am more sensitive to these things. My wife was the first person who I was attracted to at more than a physical level. The only person woman I have ever been with. I rarely have physical contact with other women, not because I avoid it, it just doesn't happen in normal course of life. This changes nothing, I am still more attracted to my wife than any human being. Attraction is about more than physical appearance. My wife is hot AF, but her personality is even more attractive to me. Too long didn't read, my wife talked me into a haircut at a fancy salon. Stylist was obnoxiously attractive. I had an orgasm while she was giving me a hand massage. I then proceeded to leave a 100% tip because I am an idiot.